Welcome back to GoldSeek TV. I'm here today with the president and CEO of Aztec Minerals, Simon Dyakowski. Thank you for joining us here today on GoldSeek TV.
Good day to you, Peter. Thank you for the opportunity to come on to GoldSeek and chat with you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a good timing to have you back on. We had discussed a couple months ago your two projects that you're drilling and advancing. And one of the projects in Arizona, the Tombstone Project, came out with some excellent drill results. So I thought it'd be a great time to talk about that. You released your first drill hole of, I think it's a 10 drill hole program at Tombstone, and it came back with Bonanza silver intersection grade. So can we talk about this exciting drill result that you released in the past days?
We're very excited about the ongoing drill program at Tombstone. We're still drilling. So as you mentioned, it's a planned 10-hole program that we kicked off at the end of February, and we've been drilling now for about 2 months. And a couple of weeks ago, the first hole came back. This is a vertical hole drilled in the center of the zone, of the main zone in the contention open pit in the bigger Tombstone Silver District property that we control in a 75-25 joint venture. And hole one came back with a spectacular silver hit. This is really the first real Bonanza grade silver that we've drilled in the Tombstone district. We've drilled a lot of high grade gold and moderate grades of silver in the pit in our previous drilling, but with the core drilling that we're undertaking right now, we're able to go a little bit deeper than we had been with the reverse circulation or RC drilling that we had been utilizing in the past. And it turned out to be a good decision for us because as we got to the water table, which had previously been a bit of an impediment to drilling, we were able to intersect a high-grade silver intersection of 1.52 meters of 3,477 grams per ton silver within a wider zone of 7.6 meters averaging 734 grams per ton silver. So that's a pure silver number, not an equivalent. And that occurred right at the water table as we were starting to transition from the sediments to the silty limestones, which was really big for us. It's a proof of concept in a sense that when we're drilling in this old district, we're now proving that the old time miners that were mining down much further than where this intersection occurred with high grades of silver that they clearly didn't mine out everything. So it was a huge hit for us. And even below that intersection, which was fairly shallow, the headline there was between 126.5 and 128 meters. But the silver zone continued to depth from that intersection as well. So we're excited. We're now deepening this open pit oxide target that we've been drilling off for the past couple of years and building further evidence to continue drilling deeper for high grades of silvers.
So you're going deeper with these drill holes. They're hitting the water table, and you're looking for this higher grade, potentially the silver zone. Are you starting to prove up? You're looking for this different. You're trying to find maybe the porphyry which feeding the system, or this kind of different kinds of deposit, that kind of Taylor kind of deposit. What is it that this is starting to indicate?
Well, so this is indicating that the enriched, the supergene blanket that the old timers were mining and lowering the water table by about 400 feet from 600 feet down to 1,000 feet, that it is unmined. Parts of it are unmined. So that represents exploration upside for us. We do have, as you alluded to, the deeper Taylor-style CRD target, which we believe is situated within about a 2,000 meter or 6,000 foot limestone horizon that sits just below this oxide zone occurring in the sedimentary Bisbee Formation. So while the focus of this drill program is not to test yet the deep CRD target, the fact that the mineralization continues and picks up at depth is it's a further evidence that it's a valid target. And these targets that we're talking about with the CRD ones, I could just quickly show on the presentation here. They are they're going to require 700 to 800 meter drill holes. So this drilling that we're doing right now is really educating us on how to attack these deeper targets at 750 to 800 meters below the surface, meaning that we have really two challenges with the drilling. One is to break through the broken rock, the sediments, the sandstones, the siltstones, and the fill near surface, and then to regain core circulation as we get into the limestone layers at depth. Mm-hmm. So we've proven now that we are able to drill in the limestones once we reach the target, but we would like to pre-collar some of these holes with reverse circulation. So our next rounds of drilling, when this one is concluded, will likely be composed of both testing shallow targets with the RC drill and then drilling, pre-collar, so setting up to drill deeper with the core at depth to get to those target depths of 750 to 800 meters below surface. And just on this slide 19, our corporate presentation, there's a geophysical anomaly right below the center of the pit where we focused our drilling. And it's like a bullseye target at that depth, 700 meters below surface. And we're seeing mineralization now pick up as we get deeper, 240 meters below surface. So there's still about 500 meters that we need to drill through to get to that conductive anomaly, which lines up nicely with some historic drilling to the north of the pit that did hit some Taylor-like style grades. Mm-hmm. Hole T8 drilled in 1989 intersected 7.16 meters of 0.6% copper, 9.1% lead zinc, 32 grams of silver, and a sniff of gold. So, clearly it has that deep Taylor potential. Just never really been drilled below the hot part of the system, which is the contention zone.
Okay, so you're above the Bisbee Formation in the oxides with these drill holes, and you have several drill holes still in the works here. What is you're doing a fanning kind of approach to the drilling program here? How is it set up?
Yeah, so I can zoom in a little bit on the plan map here to demonstrate what we're doing. But we've drilled to date a fence. Now two fences of drill holes in the pit and on the west bench, and each of those setups denoted in the red has a fan coming off it, so 2 to 3 hole fan. So basically same azimuth, but different dips coming off the drill hole. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing in this program is a continuation of that. We are drilling to the west 50-meter step outs, to the east 50-meter step outs, and then filling in a big gap with a vertical hole that's TC 2306 in an area to attempt to link up the central zone and the south zone. So really to prove out the full strike extent of this, to widen it and to deepen it. So in all dimensions, we're hoping to grow this Tombstone shallow mineralization, but with the added exploration target of going deeper this time, and that was proven in hole TC Tombstone Core 2301, which we reported last week.
Oh, great! So the drill results will continue to come out and give more indication of where the deposit limits might be. What is the timing on the drill program? Another month or two of work, or?
Yeah, I'd say another 3 weeks of drilling and another couple months of work, cutting and logging and shipping samples. So, we're past the halfway mark in terms of drilling, but we're only just starting to report the results. Okay. So I would expect to have updates to the market and to investors out over the back half of May, early June, and well into June from this project specifically, and then of course we'll be readying our game plan for the next round of drilling.
That's exciting. The results are indicating some exciting potential here. The silver results are incredible. So looking forward to the coming drill results left at this program. If we could take a look also at your other project, Cervantes, which is also being worked on. If we could get an update on what's going on there and what we should be looking for in the coming quarters.
Yeah, love to talk about Cervantes. I just want to add one thing on Tombstone that I think is relevant that we might want to talk about, is that we've also expanded the land package at Tombstone. So that's a news release that came this week. And just really quickly, I'd just like to highlight this. So we picked up a patented or a private land position right at the northwest of the Tombstone property package here, adjacent to the main zone. And we are really excited about this. This covers the old West Side mine, which historically had some of the highest gold and silver grades when it was in production in the late 1800s. So we believe that there's a very good opportunity for us to explore and to expand the shallow in-pit mineralization well over to the west in a subsequent round of drilling.
Oh, that's great. Is most of the land on patented, or is it BLM land? Or
so all of the land that's geological interest to us is on patented private ground, and most of that is within this main zone here of the black outline that we're looking at.
Okay.
And then we have staked some unpatented BLM ground to the east of the project and to the south, and there are patents surrounding us between those two land holdings. So we've picked up over the last 3 years 5 pieces of private patented ground. So they are available in the district. I mean, it's a historic district, so there were many patents granted, historically, and they're held by various owners. So, we're cognizant of that, and we'd like to grow the land package at every opportunity. And we've done so now 3 times on 5 different patents, and we'll continue to hunt for those opportunities. But the key core of the project is on the private ground, which is very, very important, in the climate today, for permitting and advancing mining exploration projects.
Yeah, really shortens the timeline. That's great. Yeah, that's a great addition.
Yeah, and then so it's just to touch on Cervantes. So we have been working there, just to kind of remind everybody where it is. So it's in eastern Sonora. This is an area of Sonora that is really economically dominated by gold mining, and many of the gold mines are controlled and operated by Canadian companies, most notably the Mulatos District, which is operated and owned by Alamos Gold. And Alamos also happens to be one of our largest shareholders. They funded a strategic investment into Aztec last, would have been June of 2022, to support some of our drilling efforts there. So while we've been drilling at Tombstone, we have not taken a break at Cervantes. We've actually embarked upon a fairly robust surface sampling mapping program, and the results of those are being tabulated at this moment, but we've taken several hundred samples, and the sampling and mapping program is designed to guide our follow-up drilling to the drilling that was conducted in 2022, which was over 8,000 meters of both core and RC drilling, and yielded many discovery holes, widened the main zone that we'd been interested in at the California target. And that's now a 900 meter east-west and up to 250 to 500 meter wide zone of oxide gold mineralization down to depths of about 125 meters along a ridgeline. So a very compelling target with potential for low strip, open pit, heap leaching mining methodology. And our goal there is to expand the footprint that we've drilled, but we took the very favorable weather window that occurs in eastern Sonora between January and March, when it's really the driest season and you have the most outcrop exposure available to map and sample. We took advantage of that to go and do the program that the aforementioned program, and we're now generating follow-up drill targets where we think for a relatively low risk reward proposition we can drill and push out the mineralized envelope here and start to look at proving out an initial resource on this main California target. So it's something that will be announced in due course. Our geologists are busy inputting the data and understanding it, and then putting it into a format that obviously we can share with our shareholders and investors to inform them of what our plans will be going forward there.
Okay, And just from the past drilling, just remind us the grades are for an open pit potential deposit here are quite attractive. You're finding a gram or so a ton.
Yes, so we've drilled 137 meters of 1.5 grams gold from surface, 165 meters at a gram, 152 meters at 0.87. 160 at 0.77, 149 at 0.71. There are a couple dozen drill holes now that have wide widths, 50 to 100 meters, of better than 0.4 grams. Noting that the average heap leach project in the region would run, maybe a half gram would be an operating rate for a typical heap leach down in the western U.S. or northwestern Mexico. Mm-hmm. So very encouraging. And of course, early days for this, it's still very much, drill and explore and expand. But as we advance the study of it, we do have some good indications that, other key variables are in our favor. Good metallurgy. So on the preliminary bottle roll tests, we have had solid recoveries in the oxide groups in the mid to high 80s. As well as even in the sulfides, we're recovering about 50% of the gold, which is a good start for that area of study. And then just the general topography of the target zone is it's a ridge line, and it would lend itself well to potentially to open pitting and having a relatively low stripping ratio by virtue of being at surface and basically as part of an eroded ridge.
So can understand why Alamos Gold is quite interested, a multi-billion-dollar market cap gold producer in the vicinity, wanting to support this project's development and taking an interest in your company. Their ownership in the company is at what percentage now?
It is about 8.8%, and they did participate in our last financing to maintain their 8.8% ownership interest.
Oh, excellent. So, you've got two projects here. The gold market and silver markets are starting to get quite interesting again after being pretty much the sector's been left for dead for the last few years. So I'm interested to see what you're seeing on your side. We saw the market react quite positively to your Tombstone drill results, but still, you still see the sector in general quite depressed. I mean, from the miners to the exploration stocks, there just seem to be not a lot of interest, but starting to get initial look at. So, what do you see on your end, and how do you view the gold and silver market right now? Are you and what would it mean for a company like Aztec to see the gold price go to, say, to $2,500 an ounce and see the silver price at $30, $40, or $50 an ounce?
Well, to respond to the first part of the question there, you're right. It has been very low interest for the past couple of years in the resource sector in general, save for a couple of specialty metals that have had big price gains and have captured some retail investor attention and liquidity. But I do think that over the past really 3-4 months, there has been a growing recognition in the retail sector and in the speculative investing sector that gold and silver and exploration plays are probably the best bet going forward in what seems to be a more challenging macroeconomic backdrop around the world, as markets are just starting to understand the 18-month lag impact of higher interest rates. I think we're just starting to see that. Obviously we have had multiple bank failures now in the United States, and you're starting to see some of the employment metrics, which tend to be lagging indicators, start to roll over. So, just the chatter on the street is that, while we're not obviously in a robust, super liquid, speculative market for gold and silver juniors, the smart money seems to be positioning themselves. Obviously the GDX and the GDXJ, the big and small cap mining names have lagged the move in gold, but they're starting to catch up, which is positive. And finally, I've been looking at the chart. I mean, I like to look at charts to just understand the sentiment, and I do sort of understand why there has been some trepidation to enter the sector. I mean, we have hit. I mean, you mentioned this in your media a couple of days ago, but the triple top. I mean, that obviously scares people. We've had lots of opportunities to break out, and it hasn't happened. But it's really seems more resilient this time, and it's a more measured move, I think, in the price up.
I think so. I think that's key to have a more steady rise instead of a huge blast off. The Aztec has been able to move and advance these projects forward. You've consolidated Cervantes. You've added to the land position and moved Tombstone forward. So you've been doing this while the market's been quiet. So if the market really does revive now, if gold's really going to make a big move, silver makes a big move, I would think the Aztec is sitting in a better position than other juniors, other exploration companies that haven't been very active and been able to move their projects forward. So I think that as an investor, it's good timing for a company like Aztec who has been able to stand out like that. What are your thoughts, and how do you see the rest of the sector?
Yeah, well, we're very fortunate that we have a very committed shareholder base that obviously sees similarity to what we see, that we have projects that represent good upside. I mean, each project has a blue sky aspect to it that is still to be proven. So, at Cervantes, we have a big porphyry system that we'd like to explore and tap into, and then similarly at Tombstone, there's a CRD angle, but we're not a pure drill shot. We have really, I believe, fundamental value represented by the shallow oxides at each project that's something that can't be taken away from the project. It can likely only be expanded. So I do believe that we're very undervalued in that sense. And yes, I mean, we're just, I'd say we're fortunate that we've attracted the right kind of investors that have supported us. Really, we've raised all of our money at the same price over the last 3 years during, initially what was a very, very hot sector in 2020, and then, progressively cooling down and I think now heating up a little bit. And then in general, yeah, I mean, I'm buying lots of different juniors right now. I mean, I think that we're overdue really to have a bounce. I mean, I'm long some big caps, and that's been a great trade since September of 2022, right? The last, call it 8 months, when the bottom came in last September, there've been some pretty good gains, GDXJ names, right? And as those generalist investors start to make money on their gold large cap allocations, I believe that they'll have the capacity to seek alpha in the leveraged junior names. So Aztec and others, I think, are in a great position to reward shareholders.
Yeah, they do very well when the market and the environment heat up. And I think that has kind of been a little bit of an issue, is that the sector has looked like it would make a breakout, then it pulls back and so on. But things are really coming together here for gold and silver in ways that we really haven't seen before. And it appears to me that we're within days, if weeks, and away from this big breakout. And maybe we do have one more pullback, but I don't think this is going to last. There's too many things lining up for gold and silver.
Yeah, days or weeks or maybe hours. I mean,
Yes.
When I looked at my Kitco spot quote yesterday after the market closed, and I think it printed at 2066. So that's very, very close.
We're just inches away from it. It's going to get quite exciting again. It's been difficult to be a patient investor, but when you wait out these cycles and you're positioned properly in an up cycle move, you can do very well in this sector from what I've seen in the past 25 plus years being an investor. So I'm excited to be an investor in Aztec. I think things are really shaping up. I'm excited by the latest drill results, so I'm looking forward to more coming out of Tombstone and Cervantes. So look forward to those results, Simon. I want to get you back on the show here so we can talk about that when they're fully out, so we can fully get a better understanding of how Tombstone's shaping up. But congratulations on the first drill result. That's quite a hit there.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We've got a great technical team, and they've delivered. So we're very thankful to them, and thank you to you for the opportunity and your support of the company. So much appreciated.
Great, Simon. And for investors who are interested in the company, the website address is aztecminerals.com.
Yes, aztecminerals.com, and I'm available also to answer any questions. Simon at aztecminerals.com, and even give me a call 604-619-7469, and all that info is on the website as well.
That's awesome. That's always great to be able to connect with management. It really helps to understand the story better. And looking forward to the upcoming drill results. Simon, thank you very much for your time today. Looking forward to catching up in the near future.
Thanks, Peter. Much appreciated.
Thanks.